It was supposed to be a simple job, but as the chainsaw stopped and the dust settled, she saw the troubling look on his face. He was frozen in place and had turned pale as if a ghost had emerged. Their eyes finally met. He stuttered as he said, "Go back inside. Call the police. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for more amazing stories." Sophia looked out the kitchen window as she made her morning coffee and enjoyed the rising sun. Her little backyard had a single towering apple tree. It was ancient, a gnarled memory of the long-forgotten monastic orchards that once populated the back hills area. But the tree was special in another way. Her family had owned the house and land since 1980. She had watched the area around them slowly change. Families grew, neighbors moved in and out, businesses thrived or failed. The tree was a comforting constant. But now, as she stared at its branches, she noticed something worrying. The battered tree had started to discolor. Branches bent and cracked. The baskets of beautiful red orbs were now almost gone. Sophia rubbed her aching hands, painful arthritis. It was as if the tree knew she was aging and mirrored her pain. What happened next turned her innocent musing into panic. It wasn't just old wood anymore. A small patch of disease appeared at the roots and crawled up the trunk. Strange white fuzz bloomed and the fruit turned into mushy lumps. It was dying. But what did that mean for her? She quickly picked up the phone and called for help. Specialist Glenn Conway came in and inspected the tree. "Sorry, but we have to cut it down," he said. Sophia sighed with disappointment. It might have been silly to some, but it felt like putting down a family pet. The man pulled out his chainsaw. Little did they know the tree had one final fruit to bear. She watched from the kitchen window, thinking about the memories rooted in that very yard. All her special pies would be gone too. But as Mr. Conway reached the diseased sections, Sophia felt dizzy and faint. He rushed to his truck to change from a simple face mask to something heavier, like one from a disaster movie. He also started to bag certain parts, almost like a miniature black quarantine. Was the tree that sick? Humans could get ill from things like black mold. Tree fungus and other diseases could have the same effect. Mr. Conway revved the chainsaw, struggling to get through the lower sections. However, just before the last cut, she heard the motor suddenly stop. The lowest part of the tree was completely hollow. Whatever had happened morphed the man's expression from surprise to fear. He slowly stepped away, his face bone white. Sophia opened the door to take a look, but he held out his hand. "Stay inside. Stay away from the windows." She watched him run behind his truck and pull out his phone. She sat at the kitchen table, biting her nails. His muffled voice floated over the wind. She heard one terrifying word. Explosive. Minutes seemed like hours until he came back in. By then, she was a mess. Her heart and stomach were in her throat. "You won't believe this," he said, "but there's an old grenade in the stump." Sophia let out a small scream and steadied herself from passing out. A grenade? But how? That tree had been there forever. It wasn't long before cruisers pulled in and police started to roll out yellow tape around her property. There she sat in the middle of a crime scene, brewing coffee for everyone who showed up while begging for information. One officer was kind enough to snap a photo for her. Indeed, in the middle of the dusty, hollow trunk was an old, crusty grenade. But it wasn't just any regular ammunition, it was a World War II relic. One officer stood at her door while another guarded the property all night. "Why can't you just take it out now?" she asked. The officer's answer was troubling. The specialist who could remove such things wouldn't be available until morning. All they could do was pack sandbags around the trunk and make sure historical item thieves didn't try to take it. It turns out that hidden World War II ammunition wasn't an abnormal find. The revelation kept her up all night. Sophia sat on the sofa thinking about all the moments she had been so close to something so dangerous. Every time she had nudged it with her lawnmower or watched her children climb it, the idea made her nauseous. What else was hiding, waiting below the layers of rock and dirt?